The very first video, weirdly enough, I played this stupid game and some hacker like killed my base when I was 11. And so I uploaded it and my first video got 20,000 views like instantly. And that was probably the best thing that could have ever happened to me. I was hooked from day one. I was just like, oh, I fell in love and I've been hooked ever since. People would have bet $1 million that I wouldn't be a YouTuber. But I have hyper-obsession and I love this. And you give it enough time, anyone can solve it. I graduated high school, somehow found these other like 4 lunatics. We were all super small YouTubers. And we basically talked every day for 1,000 days in a row and did nothing but just like hyper study, like what makes a good video, what makes a good thumbnail, what's good pacing, like how to go viral. And you know, we do things like take 1,000 thumbnails and see if like there's a correlation to the brightness of the thumbnail to how many views it got, or like, you know, like videos that get over 10 million views is like how often do they cut the camera angles, or like things like that. We were very religious about it, and so that's where most of my knowledge came from. Is I just surround myself with these lunatics, and just every day, like, we didn't do anything, we had no life. It's crazy because it's like if you envision a world where you're trying to be great at something and it's just like you learning from your mistakes. You in 2 years, you know, might have learned from 20 mistakes, or if you have like 4 other people who are also messing up, they teach you what they learned. Hypothetically, you 2 years down the road have learned like 5 times more of the amount of stuff. So it just like helps you grow exponentially way quicker. I think I just had the blessing of finding what I loved at a young age. So most people don't find what they love till their young 20s, so they'd be where I'm at in their 30s. I think living your life chasing like a nicer and nicer car and a bigger and bigger box to live in is kind of like a dumb way to go about life. I had to get a little nicer house for security reasons, but before I was robbed, I mean, like, my place is like a little duplex, $700 a month. You get a roommate's $360 split. Also, it is a little hypocritical because I run a nonprofit, and I did have a phase where I did ball out a little bit, and then I realized, like, yeah, this doesn't make me happy. I've always reinvested back in the channel. Sometimes I run out of money. There's never been a point where I'm like negative. Technically, money's inbound, but sometimes you just have to wait. The thing is, like, for YouTube, a lot of people are very young. I think it's like there's so much money in this industry, but most people are so young that they just don't even realize the opportunity they have, and they don't understand a lot of these things. It shouldn't be revolutionary that I reinvest all my money. Like, that's something businesses have been doing for centuries. First off, to be this successful as a YouTuber, you kind of have to understand, like, there's like 3 different pillars. You have to have the business sense, reinvest, hire, scale up. What's the saying? It's like you're crazy until you're a genius or whatever. Basically, up until like 2 years ago, every step of the way too, people are throwing tomatoes and telling you you're stupid for reinvesting. And everyone also thinks like the life cycle of YouTubers like 2 years. And it's like, well, if you're innovating, adapting, and like doing cool stuff, I mean, you can have a career as long as 10 years, in my opinion. I enjoy helping people. It's fun for me. Like, I have this ability to go viral and get views. And so I want to figure out how to leverage it to like basically build a charity on the back. Beast Philanthropy, 100% of all the revenue on this channel goes towards our food pantry that we started. So we basically started our own nonprofit. And so I make these videos, I do brand deals, we sell merch and stuff like that in the ad revenue, and we use that money to buy food so we can feed people. We do distributions where we go to places in low income places and do distributions. And so you would just come to the distribution and you just sit in your car, pop your trunk, we put food in, you drive off. The biggest thing is, as weird as this sounds, it's much easier to get 5 million views on one video than 100,000 views on 50 videos. Like, you could upload 1 great video a year and get more views than if you uploaded 100 mediocre videos. To do well on YouTube, you just need people to click your videos and watch them. That's literally all YouTube wants. And so if you get people to click your video 10% more and watch your video 10% longer than mine, you don't get 10% more views. You get like 4 times the views. Once you understand that and you like funnel your energy better, it makes a big difference. So it's usually like put in way more effort, like really hyper obsess over these videos, like triple the amount of time you're putting into that video. I did YouTube for no pay for years. So even if I was making minimum wage doing YouTube, I'd still be way happier than if I was making like 3 or 4 times minimum wage doing something else. And so you also kind of have to factor that in, whereas if you do what you love, you don't necessarily need as much. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. Get a mentor. Anything you're doing, a mentor is a cheat code. If you're in an industry where there are other experts, get one. My point would be, like, if I knew what I knew now, like 3 years ago, I mean, I'd be on 500 million subscribers or whatever. Like, my growth would have been so much more extreme. There's nothing more valuable in life in my opinion, at least entrepreneurial wise, than having someone like that. You have to find what you love, and you obsess over day after day, week after week for a decade. You're going to achieve some form of success. But if you don't truly love it, you're going to quit way before you get like that compound growth and you really get ultra levels of success. So in my opinion, the easiest way to be successful is just find something you truly love.